What's happening? We here to talk about NBA YB. Sorry about that. I was playing some bullshit in the background. Sorry about that. But yeah, we here to talk about NBA YB. I was getting my daily dose of game theory. Shout out Matt Pett, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, and Tom. I like Tom. But anyways, NBA YoungBoy Elix, however you say this. But anyways, he garners concern after posting unaliving messages and a photo of Chris Benoit. If you don't know who Chris Benoit is, by the way, he is a former, I guess, WWE wrestler. Very prominent, very good in technical wrestling and submissions and all that. Basically, got to the point where I don't know if he got CTE, but basically, he had something wrong with his brain, which led to the point that he unalived his family. So at this point, they wiped him from WWE. They barely mentioned him, barely showed old pictures. Yeah, we know he was contracted, but even bad moves like the headbutt or certain moves like that, so people are more safer because they understand like trauma to your head and stuff like that. So again, NBA YoungBoy posting that type of picture, okay, it could be alarming, but I feel like anything NBA YoungBoy does, everybody's going to talk about. There was that one picture when he was over there, when he was still on house arrest, when the pills was on the floor. Now, that one was a little bit more alarming because I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? Now, number one, it is for attention, but also number two is like, yeah, my nigga, like, bro, niggas don't really care about their health. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to it. Let's see the outrage and what fans is talking about. But anyways, NBA YoungBoy has had himself a huge year. He was released from prison and then it was off to the races. He dropped two projects, went on tour, and commercially this might just be the best calendar year of his entire year. I believe he is also trying to drop another project as well. He was trying to drop another project. It was supposed to come out last week, but it didn't come out, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, however, sometimes the accolades and the adoration isn't really enough. Artists, just like the average person, are more complex beings. They go through a lot on a day-to-day basis, and success doesn't deter from that. NBA YoungBoy is someone who professes his pain in the music, but he isn't afraid to share it on social media as well. This is exactly what we saw on Tuesday afternoon as NBA YoungBoy took to Twitter with some concerning messages about his next album and life in general. As he explains, I want to drop the album then unalive. To be fair, and no disrespect to him, because he could be going through some stuff or feel some type of thing. I literally did a video where I'm like, you should check on your happy friends as well. But I will say, some of the time he does this shit, I do feel like it's for attention. I'm sorry. I do feel like sometimes it's for attention. Because if you say shit like this, anybody with a heart is going to be like, what's going on? But he does have an issue. Because if he keeps doing this, again, you can feel how you feel as a person. But if he keeps doing this, it's going to get to the point where we're going to feel like he's the boy who cried wolf. And we're not just going to pay attention to it. And then something really serious does happen. And then we're like, oh, fuck, man. Why be gone? Shit. But anyways, overall fans were immediately concerned by this as it came across as a threat of potential unaliving. YB ultimately followed up this message where he attempted to explain himself. He claims that while life is good in many respects, he just doesn't feel the emotions like he thought he would. It be like that sometimes, bro. I feel like that's what famous people go through. Like, you don't have no financial problems. Your family might be straight. Everybody good. But you, in general, you might feel empty. You're just here like, what else? Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you might be fulfilled. And that's where people go get other stuff or do other hobbies or shit like that. But where was I at? My life literally perfect. I'm just not happy. It's me, hero. This is a common feeling among those who have had a hard life, only to come out on the other side and succeed. However, it doesn't take away from the concern anyone would feel seeing someone express these kinds of emotions. Facts. Oh, goes back intro on a fucking thing now on Twitter. However, things took a turn for the worse when YB posted a photo of the late wrestler Chris Benoit. They're gonna depict Chris Benoit. Okay, thank you. For those unaware, Chris Benoit was a Canadian WWE wrestler who unalived his wife and children 2 decades ago. After doing so, he took his own life. It remains one of the saddest stories in sports history and has haunted the WWE for decades. With that in mind, it is easy to see why fans would be deeply disturbed by what YB is saying. The article that I'm reading also says if you know a loved one who's dealing with emotional distress or unaliving ideas or ideation, please call 988. Now again, I don't know Mr. Control Golden, aka NBA YoungBoy, and you can feel like this. Again, your life's good, you've been through it a lot. Now, you're happy, if you will. You're living in luxury, you're off house arrest, you don't know how to feel, you don't know how to be happy. Because you've always been through strife and obstacles and all this stuff. So now when you're at a calm state, when there's no real issues, no real bothers, you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know what being prosperous and enjoying the happiness is, because you've just gone through difficult times. So I do understand that to a certain extent. But even with that being said, damn, my shit dimmed. Even with that being to the specific extent, sorry, my shit dimmed. So I had to check that my shit is good. It's just one of them situations where I do have to look at him. Is he just doing this for a moment? Don't get me wrong. Posting Chris Benoit, I'm like, okay, that could cause some alarm. But even with that being said, I do gotta look at, bro, like, is you just doing this for a shot in the dark? I get people vent on social media. They could feel like it's a safe space. But if you're going through all this, and again, black people don't, and this is more of a black people thing. I know black people don't really like going to therapy, but this is when you should maybe go sit them down with therapy and stuff like that. Life is all about perspective. I always say it a lot of the time. We view these rich people because they got money and they don't got financial problems, that they're happy, they're fulfilled in life. Some of them aren't. We've seen it with Robert Williams. Top of the world, but, it went that way. So again, check on YB. I'm not trying to make light on this. I just feel like sometimes he does this. Yes, it could be a cry for help, but also other times I just feel like he just wants people to flood his page. And it could be a fucked up way of promotion. It could be. Again, maybe I'm too cynical. I'm not as empathetic in this situation, but that's just where my brain goes sometimes when he does this, because he has done this multiple times before. And if that's the case, you have to have loving people around him. Maybe it's not just his wife and his kids. You need some of his good friends around him as well. So anyways, and professionals that can help him. But anyways, what do y'all feel about this? Comments down below, links in the description. Besides that, it's your friendly neighborhood K.A. signing off for today. The Black TJ that while doing this thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You try to hit a little bit more to hear me. And I'm gone. Slimes and peace, gang. Aye.